My name is Gary Cooper, and I'd like to welcome you to a page out of my fishing diary.
Oh, wow. Look at the shoulders on that thing.
Holy, he was tempted, wasn't he?
That was pretty tough, but I got it in.
Oh, there he goes.
That one's got some flavor. Yeah. Look at this here. Whoa, a big fish.
Oh, there he goes.
There he goes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice fish. Nice fish.
You know, one of my most favorite places to ever go fishing was always the Stamp River. The Stamp River has a hatchery on it that has a lot of Chinook smolts, steelhead smolts that are planted in that river, and it really makes for a great sport fishery on the river. And what this is back in January of 1992. Can you believe that? 1992? Man, that is 16 years ago. And I'm with David Murphy. Now, David Murphy has become such a fixture on that particular river in the wintertime that I'm sure that when you look at some of those cliffs and everything else up there, that you can actually see his face etched into those cliffs. So you look at trees, I think that everything is starting to grow to look like David Murphy because he's always on that river, and he's become a bit of a steward of that river, as a matter of fact, and great guide.
It's just a rock. You catch all the steelhead. I just catch the rocks. Whenever you do catch a rock, it's really important just to check your hook. Just touch your nail like that, and as long as it grabs, you know you're okay. Because Dave is out fishing on the Stamp, and I consider myself a better fisherman than Dave, but this is his river. Just joking, Dave.
I'll give you that.
So on this gear selection here that we're going through right now, just ignore the bait, okay? Because on most rivers now, I think on all rivers, not only on Vancouver Island, but in British Columbia, they have made it a bait ban, and it's one of the small things that have been done to help protect our resources, but there has to be a lot more done to protect these fish than limiting just the angler in the river.
Right there, that's just straight roe. Just cut up and boraxed, and
Yeah.
when the water gets up, then I'll use a dye and dye it red, a little bit more visible.
Yeah.
But in a low water like this, the more natural, the better.
But as I was saying, on a catch and release fishery, you have to stay away from baits or anything that's really going to make the fish want to swallow that bait. If it's an artificial lure, usually as soon as he starts to taste, he's going to want to get rid of it. That's when you set the hook, and that's when he's hooked, just in the mouth.
Oh! Whoa!
Good for you. Remember when I said first cast? That was too close.
That
They
was
don't
too
lay
close.
there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I'm having so much fun. I just love this steelheading. You know, it's nice and quiet. We're sitting here anchored on the. Boy, look at them scraps, right? Boy, get some. Boy, what a scrappy little fish.
And yet in saying that, I'm not against people using light tackle for catching fish. I think once that happens, then we can get rid of the IGFA record books, and also we can get rid of all fly fishermen on the rivers fishing if we're just going to use heavy outfits.
Hey, what did I say?
I think you're going to find that one has sea lice too.
It sure did. These are fresh fish, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. This is a pretty small fish. This is.
Yeah. Oh, it's really nice on this nice little Sage fly rod.
Now,
Dale, do you have fish in your life there, Dave?
Yeah, a few thousand.
Is your sister Melanie still liking to do a lot of steelheading, just like you out the river?
She doesn't get out as much as she'd like because the store's been busy.
Oh, yeah.
This thing just doesn't want to cooperate. There, I got him.
Well, she operates the Port Alberni Marina store as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, the tackle shop. And
Now you see the way he's holding that steelhead up? You see the way he picked that steelhead up out of the water and held it by his tail? That's a no-no now. Now we didn't know it back then, so I'm not going to say anything as David because I did the very same thing. And also, look at how deep that he took the bait. See that? I mean, we got the hook out of him that okay, but I mean, if he had taken that another inch, 2 inches down, that fish would have been toast. And I saw a little bit of an adipose fin there too, so that was a wild fish, so it was really good that fish was released and was healthy.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
you know, in this slow water, they're not getting tired out. And, you know, most of the times I don't even bother reviving them. I just give them a quick shot in the water and away they go.
Well, what's really nice is there's a couple river systems here. We have the Robertson Creek.
Yeah, on the Stamp River.
On the Stamp River, and then it comes down the Stamp, and this flows into the Somaz.
And the river here, right up in front of us, is the Sprout.
Yeah, so so we're just below what they call a confluence.
They call it the confluence, the famous confluence. Everybody hears that that's the place to fish, and it was many years ago. It was probably one of the best spots in Vancouver Island. But with the high waters, it's changed everything. So now the best fishing is below the confluence where we are. The actual confluence is sort of a magical spot. Everybody gets lured to the confluence, but you don't catch
just
too many
from the
fish
old
there,
days. No, well, that's right. We're below the confluence, and you can keep fishing, keep going all the way down.
All the way
because
down.
These fish are coming up. And if you'll notice the water is really nice and slow moving. And if you looked at the contour of the bottom, there's a lot of large rocks. And these fish, when they come in, they have a lot of resting areas. And that's why, when we hit these fish, they're so aggressive. They've just been sitting, relaxing.
Sitting and relaxing. Something to remember for people that don't fish a lot of seal or want to get into it. The best place to catch a seal is in walking speed water. I mean, you can catch them in fast water, but where they like to live or stay, is walking speed.
Yeah, that's a good tip. And depth too? Do you?
4 to 8 feet.
4 to 8 feet.
Or in the shallow riffles, they can be 3 feet. But walking speed is, and a lot of times you'll see it. It'll be fast water. It looks fast. You'll get in there and you'll see it. But it's not as fast as it looks. So you'll get a couple boulders, it'll slow it down. Well, there again, you're walking speed water.
Well, we're tied now. Last time we did a show together, you really outfished me. And we're tied now.
But I've only taken 2 casts.
We'll edit that out. Okay. Well, look, let's put some more bait on. While you're getting me, if you want to get me a little skein of roe there, Dave, I'll just basically explain what we're doing here.
Actually, we'll put.
You see that little reel that I have there? That was a Norm Macdonald reel. I had it custom made for me, and I went to an outdoor show. I demonstrated an outdoor show, and I had my boat at the outdoor show as well. And the last day of the show, I went back to break down the boat, and I looked at that particular rod, and someone had stolen that reel. So if ever any of you people out there see that reel, I sure wish I had my name put on it, but that particular reel is missing, and I'll give a reward if I get that Norm Macdonald back. I think my odds are a little slim.
Fire rod. This was actually sent to me by, Sage sent it to me, mainly because it has a lot of power right in this area. Right up into here. And they told me that, you can play 20, 30-pound springs on this rod. And that's one of the reasons I got it, because a lot of times I like to play larger fish.
Well, they catch tarpon on 10, 11 weights. So and they're up to 100 pounds.
Yeah. And I'm using a fairly heavy line on my length on here. What I'm using is I think this is about 20-pound test.
20 pound.
Now, the reason I use 20-pound test is mainly because it acts a bit like a fly line when you cast out. You're using the weight of the line as well, and it lays out better. There's less slack you have to take up when you use a heavier line, as well as you get less backlashes.
Yeah, the 20-pound is a good rule, and the stiffer the line, the better.
That's right.
You don't use a line that's too soft, because things get tangled, and you're right. You can't cast as far.
And we're using a float. Now, these are called dink floats.
Dink float.
Yeah. And they're just a little styrofoam. They're probably the cheapest floats you can get. There's a lot of different types of steelhead floats you can get. These are the least expensive, and you get them in various sizes. You can cut them down if you want, if you're using lighter weights. And then we're just using split shot. We're arranging our split shot every foot apart.
About a foot.
Yeah, to our swivel. And then we have our leader. A lot of times on your leader, depending on the water here, you'll fish right from 6 pounds.
6 pound. This is actually 8 pound.
Yeah, this is 8
And you'll
pound,
notice
yeah.
how long the leader. It's about 50 inches or so.
Yeah,
You know, because when it's down there, the fish is only seeing 8 pound. He's not seeing your 20 pound mainline.
that's
You
right.
know, and that makes a difference. If you're going to go down to small hooks and small baits, it doesn't make sense to have a 20 pound test mainline hanging around there too.
Yeah.
It sort of defeats the purpose.
Yeah. So have you got that? Okay, well, we're going to bait us up. We're going to bait us up right now with a row bag. Now, this is kind of interesting. Are these spring?
Yeah,
eggs?
those are spring eggs.
How long does it take you to tie one of these up?
I do 40 an hour.
Well, we'll have to do a segment sometime on showing
So you
people
have
how
to
to
do it.
tie
Yeah, a lot
row
of
bag.
people are really interested in that. That's just kind of a special
Yeah,
technique.
yeah. We'll show a segment sometime on that in a future
You know, and
show.
all you do is you just slip.
Don't go by this. Do not use the row bags because you saw it on Gary Cooper's fishing diary, because today you could end up getting a ticket or losing some of your tackle for it. So don't, okay? Try fly fishing for these fish.
4 or 5 bags. 4 or 5
I
bags.
think it'd be pretty exciting. Right there, you're looking at the proper way to use the spinning reel on a big fish. Some people, what they will do is they'll just keep cranking the reel. They just keep cranking the handle because there's a limited slip on the spool. What a lot of times happens is that just kinks up your line. So good thing to sort of take note here on how he handles that reel. Sometimes tailing a fish like this in a current can be a little difficult. I really recommend that you use either a catch and release landing net, or also you can buy these troughs that you can lay the fish in. That's a little hard in a river actually, but a catch and release landing net is a good idea. As you can see there, if you don't do a good job at trying to tail it, you just going to really tire out that fish.
Worm. And usually rubber worms are pretty hot in this river, aren't they?
Yeah, really good. Really, really good.
And you threw on a crocodile spoon. I didn't think that spoons really worked in this river.
Just because yesterday I got them in the same spot on the
You got them
spoon.
on a spoon.
It's good.
And isn't that the truth a lot of times? If you go to a particular spot and catch a fish, go to that very same spot the next day, there'll be another one.
Yeah, take its place.
Yeah,
Exactly.
take its place. Yeah. Look at that little rod. Ooh, Jesus. This is supposed to be a little trout rod. Now, don't lose
Oh,
it.
it's a big fish.
Oh, it's a big fish.
It's over 10 pounds. For
Yeah.
Sure.
On a little outfit like that, I can't believe it.
There's a lot of different outfits that people can use for catching steelhead. In this particular episode here, on this particular day, what we did is we were using level winds. We were also using the single action reel like my Norm Macdonald. And of course, you can also use spinning reels. For a lot of people who do not do a lot of fishing, spinning reels can be a really good way to catch fish. And I do believe this particular fish here was caught on a spoon. So yeah, you want to catch steelhead? Try something different than what all the other people are using. Try using a spinning outfit and try casting a spoon out.
You're gonna be able to get it, Gary. It's pretty fast water here.
Yeah, I'll get her.
Don't lose my lucky spoon.
I won't. Bring it in and I'll grab that fish. No!
Ah! Oh,
Whoa!
you got him mad now. What you doing?
Well, that'll tire him out.
And of course, we don't want to tire out the fish too much, because what ends up happening is he has less of a chance for survival in the river if you release him after he's just completely exhausted. And that can happen sometimes with light tackle.
There's been boats that have gone up and down and all around us trying to hunt for fish, and we have just been working about a 200-yard stretch.
And we've caught the only 3 fish this
And
morning.
we've caught the only 3 fish this morning. Well, that's got to say something about your partner.
See how that fish uses the flow? He's like a snake going back and forth. It's because every time he turns his body, it's like a rudder, and it helps push him back. So he's using that stream to his advantage to try and stay away from the boat.
Get that little rod in the reel go. That's your lucky spoon too, isn't it?
The luckiest spoon. You know, we can always catch another fish, but I can't get another lucky spoon, so
We got that right.
be careful.
I'll be careful. It's only 6-pound test, eh?
Yeah.
A lot of times if you have a big fish like this, instead of trying to get them in like this, you're better to pull your anchor if you're in a boat like that and row to shore or get into some slack water to land your fish, because you'll land them a lot quicker.
I got it. Yeah, I've got 8-pound test here. Look at that.
Whoa!
Hey, support it
See how I picked up that fish? Wrong. We don't do that anymore. But the one thing I do is, you see when I hold it, I push his 2 pectoral fins forward. That has a tendency to calm the fish down. And so if you just go up their belly and hold those 2 fins forward, a lot of times they'll relax. You see, that's a hatchery fish as well. I could keep that fish if I wanted to for the barbecue. And there's nothing wrong with staying within the regulations and keeping a hatchery steelhead.
There she goes. Hey!
Another one in the...
Guy always outfishes me. He grabs a little, here I am with all my fancy gear. I got my expensive rod, my expensive reel, and you come out with this little wee trout rod and this little wee spoon, 6-pound test line, and catch about a 8-9-pound steelhead on it. Look at that. I got to congratulate. That's a little Len Thompson number 00 brass.
You bet.
Crocodiles work great too, you know.
Crocodile, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, well, crocodiles work really great too.
That's what I usually use.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a crocodile right there,
Yeah.
isn't it? That's the,
Something you should do, always, with the stock spoons.
uh-huh.
They come with a Siwash hook.
Yeah.
Right, and that Siwash hook is so easy. You know, it goes in easy, but because it's so long, it pries itself out very easy.
Yeah.
So what I do is I take, as soon as I get it, I cut that hook off, and I just put about a 2-aught, 9.2, well, I don't know,
Yeah.
194.
A good mustad hook,
Yeah,
anyway.
or mustad
A
hook.
mustad. They got to be mustad. You got that right. Have you seen the new, with the AquaPoint?
AquaPoint, yeah, they're strong.
They're really strong.
The red hooks. And
Yeah. Yeah, they're really good. So there we are. Congratulations, my friend.
Let's do it again.
Well, look, if you do get another one on this, can I play it?
Sure.
Now, while you're watching this, folks, I'd like to tell you a little bit about steelhead. Steelhead are, as a matter of fact, DFO, or the fisheries, are changing them. They're changing them to be classified as a salmonoid, but they're actually a rainbow trout. You know, as a rainbow trout is in a lake and then it wants to spawn, it goes from the lake to a creek or a river and then spawns and then comes back afterwards, back to the lake. Well, these are the very same type of fish. What they do, though, is they're in the river, they are born, they spend a couple years in the river, they go out as a smolt, and they live in the ocean. So these particular fish, their survival rate is not only is dependent on the condition of the river, but it's also dependent on the condition of the ocean. So river survival is important as well as ocean survival is important. And they're rainbow trout, man. They're exciting. They jump. They're back in these days, we used to keep them. Not all. We used to release the wild ones, but we used to keep the hatchery fish, especially in this river, because they're all hatchery fish. Most of wild stock have completely left this river. When I talk about wild stock, I'm talking about the old wild stock, because even your hatchery fish will sometimes spawn in the rivers. But man, just a fabulous fish, and sometimes I get a little concerned about the survival of this particular fish on our coast.
Yeah, the spoon is it's sort of a territorial thing. It doesn't work every day, and it doesn't work the best on new fish, fresh fish in the river, like the eggs and the roe bag and that kind of stuff. But when the fish have been in there for a while and they haven't, they've bit everything else and they're laying there.
Now, on our Vancouver Island rivers and all of our rivers, whether you're up in the Queen Charlottes or out of Vancouver or up in the interior, all the rivers that hold these particular fish, wild stocks are way down in comparison to what their traditional wild stock should be. Now, what's the reason for it? I don't know. But people like David, who his whole life revolves around catching these fish for his clients, all I can say is thank goodness that they have that Robertson Creek hatchery.
There are good guides here, and of course, most of the guides that you can, if you just contact Dave.
I have 4 guys that work for me that are super.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great day on the water, my friends, with David Murphy. Man, he looks young there. He's starting to look older now when I see him. But just a really great fisherman, really, really well known. Knows the stuff like you wouldn't believe because he lives and breathes fish 12 months out of the year. What's our fishery going to be like in the future? Well, back then, you could have days where you could catch 10, 20, 30 fish in a day. Today, you're lucky a lot of times to catch 1 or 2 fish in the day. What's causing it? Is it ocean survival? Is it the fry? Are the smolts not survive? Are the fry not surviving in the river? Is it the smolts not surviving when they leave the river? Is it ocean survival? Is it from just poor management? Is it global warming? We don't know, but we do know that our rivers are suffering, and we have to do something about it.